want to add 2 points here.
Sure thing.
One is the drinking parties I mentioned at the beginning obviously could be the context of the second short.
Okay.
And the first short obviously intimates that drinking parties were something that Jews go to. Later on,
that they host, they go
like,
to,
they
or
go
host?
to and host.
Uh-huh.
They host. We know
because it sounds like from the second one, it's an attendance issue.
It's an attendance issue.
But the first one is also hosting.
Right, and High second short seems to have functioned as the legal basis by which the famous rabbis that we use their poetry in services attended these kind of events when they themselves were of importance to the local non-Jewish government. I reckon that Jews basically had these parties and largely ignored what the stringent view of High. That certainly comes back in a later short of Maimonides, which hopefully we could examine at a future date. And
it's a good tease for a future episode.
And I also would like to point out a social observation that just as much as in Islamic society wine is prohibited, and in some Islamic traditions alcohol, so too in Jewish society it's impossible to prohibit music, really, and it's impossible to prohibit music and alcohol going together, and what that leads to in the kind of parties I described at the beginning.
And it goes back to what I said at the outset, which is, if this were a music show, right, this were a music first show, talking about music, why is there alcohol being involved?
Right.
Like, why not ban the alcohol? But that's not even on the table. Alcohol's a given.
Alcohol's a given.
It's the music that's up for discussion, right? And so that's
alcohol's a given.
Really
it's the music's up for discussion. I mean,
Yeah.
also, I'd like to even add, Jews, of course, drinking non-Jewish wine implies that was also something they were doing. And there are shortim of Maimonides talking about touching.
Maimonides, yeah?
Yeah, I believe so. There are shortim of his talking about touching wine touched by Muslims. I know there's some, I think, of Rav Hai Gaon as well, or Rav Hai Gaon, I forget which, discussing this as well. So
that's true.
Right, so there's clearly a social issue, and that's represented here and in later texts about Jews, wine, parties, and the kind of poetry, music that they are subjected to in inverted commas.